took the victory.
Cano
broke away,
retiring in that race, I think, as well.
Bahosa broke away from the field and dominated. Race 2 then saw Cano and Bahosa go wheel to wheel, elbow to elbow over the finish line. Unfortunately, though, for Bahosa, he was disqualified later after post-race. That has proven costly now in the championship standings. Now, we are about to go racing here in the title decider for the European Talent Cup. Fernando Bahosa starts from pole position. A slight delay here as the red flag comes back out, but now all clear on the track. The safety car pulls up behind, the eyes are on the lights, and we are ready to go racing in title decider Sunday. Bahosa gets a start, and he does tuck in front of Cano, but there's a long run down into turn 1. It could all change. Cano is tucked right in behind Bahosa. Alex Longarella then getting involved as well and drops Cano behind him, so Bahosa gets the perfect launch through turn 1. He leads. Cano is dropped back to 3rd position, but for how long? Not very long is it going to be. No, Cano was having a little luck up the inside of turn 2, but Alex Longarella now is P2. So, dream start for Bahosa.
Yeah, Longarella got away really well there. Contrasting with Alvaro Lucas, who just found himself going backwards a bit, didn't get away well at all. And this is absolutely perfect for Bahosa. He's got a bit of a cushion now in the shape of Longarella.
He said it there after qualifying that he has a strategy in mind as Alex Longarella does go wide but slots back into P2. And Alvaro Lucas now putting Cano under a little bit of pressure. But Bahosa said he has got a strategy with his team. What is that strategy going to be? Is he going to try and block up and slow the pace down as we've lost a rider at the back? That's the number 4 of Gabriel Tessini, who has gone out. So what is the strategy for Bahosa here, Connor? Does he slow the pace down and try and get a big lead group and bunch up on Carlos Cano, or does he just try and break away and take the win? Well, it looks like he's just going to try and break away.
I was just going to say, he set the fastest time in Sector 2 and Sector 3 there already, so very much looks like his plan is to break away as soon as possible, and now he's got 2 riders between himself and his title rival as Alvaro Lucas pulls through on Carlos Cano.
Yeah, so if you were to throw the checkered flag out after 1 lap, Carlos Cano is down in 4th position, and Bahosa is leading the race. So as things stand, it's going the way of Bahosa.
Absolutely, Cano off the podium as well.
I know, but we are very early days here in what will be undoubtedly an absolutely thrilling European Talent Cup race. It always is, Connor. It never disappoints. But Bahosa has got the dream opening lap. He is leading, and there are now a couple of riders who have slotted in between him and Carlos Cano. Just having a look to see where Edu Gutierrez is, one of the AC Racing Team riders. He's a little bit further back, so he won't be able to help his teammate out unless he gets a little bit of a move on. Edu Gutierrez is down P16 at the moment, yeah.
Well, the 2 riders between Bahosa and Cano, we were singing their praises whilst we were taking a look at the grid. Longarella and Alvaro Lucas, both of whom have got a single win to their name so far this season. They've impressed, they've been on the podium more than once. They're not going to be easy for Cano to pass at all. We were saying how important it would be to get away well, and Cano simply hasn't managed to do that. But a rider of his caliber is more than capable. As difficult a track as Valencia is to overtake on, he is a rider who's capable of doing it. But there do seem to be a few bike lengths between him and Alvaro Lucas there.
Yeah, a long way to go, yes, in this race. We're just coming off lap 2. Cano by no means is going to be hitting the panic button just yet. I'm sure he'll actually be quite content with his position just behind the podium trio.
He's coming on the threat from Capuchin there.
Alex Longarella then moves into the lead as Alvaro Lucas pulls up alongside Bahosa, and there you have it. They can all change in the blink of an eye. A reminder of how quickly things can change here as Alex Longarella runs it wide, opening the door for Bahosa and Alvaro Lucas, and it's going to be Bahosa who reclaims the lead. So I would have to imagine this is a lead group of 5. Carlos Cano will be relatively content. He just needs to be in and around this group until the end. As things stand, you see it there, Bahosa would win by a single point. So at this race, if this is our lead group, Bahosa simply must win.
A single point in it.
Yeah, simply must win. Cano has to get onto the podium to guarantee the title. If he is P4 or below, then the permutations come into play. Bahosa, of course, there are lots of permutations in play, but the reality of the situation is he must win this race. Cano is tucked into this lead group of 5 riders.
It looked like he had made the move to move into P3 there, but just unable to make it stick, and Alvaro Lucas maintains his grasp for the time being on P3.
Yeah, I think this will suit Cano down to the ground, that there are just 5 riders in a lead group, even if he does come P4, P5, Bahosa still must win. And of course, the likes of Alvaro Lucas, Alex Longarella, Jaroslav Karpushin chasing the first ever win, they're not going to really care, I would have to say, about the title chase when the chance of victory is there on the line.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say that there is currently a gap of around the second between this lead group and the riders behind. But after a fairly poor opening couple of laps from Kiandra Ramadhipa, he has now moved to the front of the chasing group and is trying to narrow that gap. You can just see there that he's getting closer.
Yeah, and if they
bringing them back into play.
Yeah, if they keep chopping and changing here, which naturally they will do, you would have to imagine that Ramadhipa has the pace to make this a larger group fight for the victory and for the podium as well. Some nervous looking faces down in the 72 Artbox team. Yeah. They've already celebrated one title in the Junior GP Championship in 2025. That of course was Brian Uriarte ramping home to the Junior GP and Rookies Cup double. 72 Artbox now are chasing another title here today. Can their reigning champion Carlos Cano produce the goods? He's having a calm and composed ride, it has to be said so far. Of course, he is in P4. I think, you know, he will be very happy to remain here until the final corner and then make a late lunge for those podium places.
Talking about lunges there, Alvaro Lucas on the inside of Alex Longarella. Absolutely sensational stuff. Have to remember as well that these two are fighting for the third spot in the ETC this year. Yeah, everything to play for here. Drama
is
all over the place.
P3, has to be said. The number 46, of course, the number 46 famed in motorsport racing. For obvious reasons, I believe, Connor.
I think we're if you don there,
if you're donning the number 46, you need to have a little bit about you, I think, particularly here where you can see the face of Valentino Rossi watching down.
There does go Cano into a podium position there, into P3 as we go through turn 1, Ashbar corner.
Bahosa diving up the inside then of Cano, coming through turn 2.
Yeah, this is getting very, very close indeed. In this lead pack, they are beginning to chop and change, and now it is Alvaro Lucas who leads from Bujosa, and Cano who now is on the podium and would, in this situation, secure his second consecutive ETC title. And there goes Lucas, round turn 6. Absolutely fantastic stuff as his team watch on.
Of course, they are in that battle for bronze, but they would love a victory to cap off the 2025 campaign. What has been a really stellar campaign, it has to be said, for Alvaro Lucas. Another gem of a talent from the CF Moto Aspar Academy.
Cano now off the podium positions as well, but it would require Bujosa to overtake Lucas if he were to claim the crown in this current situation. 11 laps to go. It's too early, almost, to talk about the championship, but I'm very pleased that our TV direction is leaving that live championship graphic up, because this could change at any point in time. The drama is palpable here.
It just goes to show you how close this championship is and has been all season. 11 points between the top two coming in to this race, but as you can see, it can all change in an instant. It's Alvaro Lucas, though, who's doing the front running as Bujosa comes under a little bit of pressure from Alex Longarella. Alex Longarella and Alvaro Lucas, we remind you, both chasing the bronze medal, have an outside shot, of course, of getting second place as well, should Bujosa pick up no points here today. But a long way to go in the championship yet, as Bujosa reclaims the lead. But for how long? Alvaro Lucas hangs it around the outside of turns 4 and 5, and that is why the Aspar Academy have got Alvaro Lucas in their team. That is just brilliant, brilliant racing on the outside. Unfortunately, coming through the Angel Nieto corner, he can't hold on to the position, and Bujosa has come back through. But Lucas is not going down here without a fight. He's got his nose back in front again, but he is hanging out the outside line. He's going to take something special from there to get ahead of Bujosa, and he just can't do it there. He's going to attack now from the inside. Is he? Nothing going. He does attack on the inside, but it's going to be Bujosa on the cutback. Bujosa looking there to open the door a little bit and then get him on the cutback, but it doesn't seem to have worked for the AC Racing team rider. And now Bujosa is doing the chasing once again.
A real flurry of blows there from Lucas. He was looking at every available opportunity, going around the outside, going around the inside, which is where it eventually worked for him. And he found his way through that. Absolutely spectacular stuff from Lucas to forge his path ahead there. Yeah, now he does lead.
This five rider fight that was across the opening laps has turned into a larger group. Kiandra Ramadhipa has brought a good 6 or 7 riders in his tow. So the likes of Ramadhipa, Borg, Osorio, Galan, Gonzalo Perez, Crataquil, Pertelli are all there. The impressive Lorenzo Pertelli, who's a part of that VR46 Academy, recently signed and was ever so impressive in the recent rounds. Unfortunately crashed out in Barcelona, but did much of the front running in that race.
Capuchin
charged from 12.
Capuchin's just got ahead of Carlos Cano there, who drops down to 5th. So that's potentially a concern for our reigning champion. As we look at these three front runners side by side, they go. Absolutely sensational riding from these three.
So Bujosa doing the front running here as we go where we were around corner 8, I should say, with 8.5 laps remaining. Fernando Bajosa doing the front running. This is exactly where Bajosa wants to be, but he has been coming under pressure from both Longarella and Alvaro Lucas in this race. Lucas most recently, but he has shuffled back down to 3rd position. Yaroslav Karpushin, then the number 70, is ahead of Carlos Cano, the reigning champion. Kiandra Ramadhipa, our winner last time out in Barcelona, hot on the heels of number 1.
Yeah, very much so. You mentioned it earlier, it could be concerning for Carlos
Longarella up the inside.
Yeah,
Longarella, sorry to cut you off, Connor. Longarella up the inside at turn 14. So, Longarella, will he hold on to the lead coming through turn 1 then? So you can see how tight it is in that championship chase. And just one overtake of a position makes a world of difference in terms of the final standings. But we won't get too absorbed by that as Kiandra Ramadhipa has a wobble out wide. A little bit further back, Bajosa then at turn 2, coming steaming through once again. So we've seen that turn 2 has become a popular overtaking spot, as it always is in the ETC. But for Bajosa, he's made a couple of moves there now.
A couple of moves that paid off.
Yeah,
I think we won't focus too much on it, but as it stands, it is Bajosa who would take the ETC in 2025 by 3 points over Carlos Cano. 169 for the 69 as it stands. This is getting very, very exciting here in Valencia in this season finale. Carlos Cano now does overtake Karpushin to move into P4.
Yeah, Cano then just keeping it calm and steady. This is probably where he wants to be. If he can't lead the race out, if he can't break away from the rest of the pack, I'm sure he's pretty happy with things as they are. Very much in contention, as you quite rightly mentioned, at turn 11 there. Alvaro Lucas making a move on Alex Longarella, but his payback on the card for Longarella, not quite, going through turn 12. So very, very tight here. There's what between the front 6 riders? There's only about a second, 6/10 of a second between them. As, woof, look at that, diving from the inside there was that Alex Longarella with a big move at the final corner to retake the lead here.
Ramadhipa's looking for a bit of slipstream there as well. He has managed to get ahead of Karpushin there. Ramadhipa coming in strong now.
Now here
he's just behind Bajosa, who's now dropped down to P4.
Bajosa down to P4 and behind Carlos Cano. But for how long? Both of them went off the track there as Alex Longarella leads. Bajosa got the wider line on Cano, so nothing going for him through turn 2 and 3. Longarella ahead of Lucas. Does Lucas fancy an attack up the inside? Nothing going yet, but Bajosa certainly does. He gets the place back from Carlos Cano, but as things stand, it wouldn't be enough to finish P3 with Cano in P4. But Bajosa,
what a move from Bajosa.
Is that a 2-for-1 deal? It most certainly is. The number 69 suddenly back into the lead.
Yeah, and Caliento corner's really giving us some
fantastic
moves.
Kiandra Ramadhipa taking the wider line there. It looked like he was going to mug them all off. Coming through 7. What a move that would have been from the Indonesian rider, but he does shuffle back behind Cano. But it just goes to show the ambition of the number 32. He's got a taste for victory already in the European Talent Cup in 2024. Winner last time out in Barcelona. There was also a win back in Magny Core for the Indonesian, and he will be hoping to get himself among the top 3 and indeed challenge for the victory here once again. But it is Bajosa leading over Alvaro Lucas and Alex Longarella. That has been the story of the race so far, with Carlos Cano in 4th. The front 3 have been battling and changing places as they change places for P2 and P3 once again. Longarella this time on Alvaro Lucas. And while all this unfolds, it means the lead group don't break away from Carlos Cano, who seems just very content to sit in P4 for the time being.
For the time being, Bajosa there as well with a track limits warning. So that could prove quite important with the 6 laps that we have remaining then.
Yeah,
again, a few riders there very
tidy. He does lose the lead, but only momentarily as he strikes back at turn 2. You gotta keep it. You gotta stay off the green, Fernando. There's what, 5.5 laps, 5 3/4 laps going. Do not get yourself onto the green. A long lap penalty now would be devastating for your title chances.
Yeah, absolutely. But he's going to be throwing everything at it. I don't know if he's going to be too aware of that warning, given the focus he's going to be having to have in this battle with this originally leading 5. Now it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 riders involved.
Yeah, and just on that second group, we mentioned him earlier, Lorenzo Pretelli, the ever-impressive Italian. In the recent outings, he's joined the European Talent Cup. He's now at the head of the second group. So what is there between Pretelli and Karpushin? About a 2/10 of a second. Keep an eye on the number 67, as he is very much gaining on Karpushin, the Kyrgyzstani rider. So Pretelli is not out of this.
No, not at all. He started from P20 as well, so he's moved up 12 places so far. With 6 laps to go, absolutely not one to rule out whatever for a podium or something even more. You could definitely shuffle things up at the front and in the final standings of the ETC for 2025.
Yeah, Alvaro Lucas then leading over the line into turn 1, but will he lead out of it? He seems to have a couple of bike lengths advantage. Well, he runs it very wide there, but he is still in the lead. But for how long? Turn 2, Fernando Bujosa strikes again.
Yeah, absolutely incredible from Bujosa. He's really delivering the performance that he needed to in this final race of the year. He's been leading for much of it, but he's not been able to lead comfortably whatsoever. Surprisingly, the pressure isn't being put on him by Carlos Cano, though. It is very much Alvaro Lucas and Longarella who are doing Cano's dirty work for him.
Yeah, absolutely well put. It is bubbling over quite nicely as Bujosa runs onto the red there, but he's about to lose the position again, is he, from Alvaro Lucas, as Lucas shows him the front wheel, but nothing going for the rookie rider around turn 8. That time, Bujosa holds on to the lead. This is bubbling over very nicely, Connor, it has to be said. Bujosa is exactly where he wants to be. Cano is in a very promising position to attack, while the likes of Longarella and Alvaro Lucas, Kiandra Ramadhipa all want to get involved in this as well. So I think we're set for a pretty grandstand finale to the 2025 European Talent Cup season.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is one of the races when you ask me who I think is going to win prior to a race, and I cannot give you an answer when we've got riders of this caliber and the competition this close in the ETC. It's just impossible.
Have you ever given me the correct answer before a race?
I try and stay on the fence as much as possible, you know this.
A concerned look then from Emilio Alzamora.
Lucas does move ahead there.
A concerned look from Emilio Alzamora as he encourages his star rider Carlos Cano to get on with it. Alvaro Lucas has a big moment with the front end there, and that opens a gap for the 69. Fernando Bujosa to once again go through at turn 2. Lightning striking twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times now, I think it is. He has made that move at turn 2 on either Longarella or Alvaro Lucas. There seems to be a little bit of a gap opening up then between Longarella, Ramadhipa in 4th position, with Carlos Cano just stuck in behind in legion. Indeed, there's quite a big gap opened up with 3.5 laps to go. This is going excellently for Fernando Bujosa. He runs it wide once again coming out of turn 6, but he holds on to the advantage. What have you got, Carlos Cano? The pressure is very much on the reigning champion. He's got Ramadhipa, race winner, ahead of him. And what is that? 6-7 bike lengths then to make up to the top 3. So this is big moment for Cano's title ambition.
Yeah, absolutely. What he's going to have to do now is manage that pressure. He is the reigning champion. There's a reason why. But he's got to show it now. He's got to demonstrate that he's got the maturity to deal with this situation that he's facing. The drama is palpable here. The excitement on pit lane. Absolutely incredible stuff with just over 3 laps to go. We're going round turn 14, the last, and we're onto the straight now. Can anyone take advantage of the slipstream here?
Lots of nervous faces down in the AC Racing Team pit boards, and it's Alvaro Lucas has gone back in front. Well, Alvaro Lucas has gone back in front, but guess what's coming up, Connor? It's going to be turn 2. It's Bujosa corner at this point. It's Doing corner. Let's rename it Bujosa corner. He's gone back up the inside, Fernando Bujosa, and this is big. This is very big because there are 2 3/4 laps remaining. It puts him back into the championship lead. He's under all sorts of pressure from both Alvaro Lucas and Alex Longarella, but most importantly not from Carlos Cano. But there's the door open for Carlos Cano. There's the door open. Is that the moment Cano now can reel in the top 3 ahead of him? Kiandra Ramadhipa going in a little bit wide, but seems he's got him on the cutback. Cano under pressure here, under all sorts of pressure. Ramadhipa gone wide again. Cano had slotted in behind the Indonesian, but for how long?
Yeah, this is getting very dramatic.
And here comes Bertelli. Bertelli's coming through now. Cano under all sorts of pressure.
Yeah, we said it. Watch out. He started from P20 on the grid. Bertelli now up to P6, 14 places, and he's really ruffling some feathers in this championship.
Oh, how are your nerves? There are nervous faces down the AC Racing Team box, down the 72 Art box team, up here in the commentary box as well. We are on the edge of our seats. Carlos Cano is running in 6th position. That means Fernando Bujosa, if he can get a victory here, Alvaro Lucas goes through for the lead though, but if Bujosa wins and Cano cannot get in to the top 3, Bujosa will be your European Talent Cup champion.
We are seeing though that Bujosa is capable of taking the lead at turn 2, but he seems to be losing it to Alvaro Lucas every single time on that last corner at turn number 14. Adrian Campos.
Someone's gone wide there.
Very dramatic.
Very wide and into the gravel there. I saw a bike flying off. I think is it Victor Cubeles. So it's from that group chasing behind the Carlos Cano group. So I thought momentarily it could have been one of our front runners, but it seems our front runners are still here. Fernando Bujosa is back in the lead. 1.5 laps remaining. Carlos Cano with Bertelli into Ramadhipa. It is. Oh, it is Ramadhipa who's gone out, and that is a big moment for Ramadhipa, and perhaps in the context of the championship, a big moment as one of Cano's rivals on track is gone. Does that open the door for him to get into P4 and perhaps catch Longarella or Bahosa or indeed Alvaro Lucas in this top three. It's probably too much time. He's got Yaroslav Karpushin there now in fourth position.
It'd be very good to get another look at that crash as well, just to see exactly what happened there, because was there a bit of contact between Cano and Ramadhipa there? Ramadhipa as well had just moved up to P4 in the standings.
Yeah, Ramadhipa, a real thorn in the side of Carlos Cano in this race. It means now there is one less rider in this battle for fourth position and fifth position and sixth position, meaning it's likely Cano will have a top six finish, which means Bahosa must win. It's as simple as that now for Fernando Bahosa. Win or bust. He is currently in second. Is he about to be dropped into third position? Alex Longarella makes a move ahead of him on the last lap. On the last lap, turn two coming up. We've seen Bahosa do it so many times already in this race.
This time he's going to get 2 for 1.
He's got the 2 for 1 once again at turn two. Absolutely sensational from the young Spaniard. The number 69 leads. The number 69 only has, 10 corners remaining, and he could be the European Talent Cup champion.
10 corners and a single point between himself and Carlos Cano. There's 3 riders here leading this race, but they're chopping and they're changing at every available opportunity. We've seen Alvaro Lucas take the lead. We've seen Alex Longarella take the lead, but the lead is what Fernando Bahosa needs if he is to be crowned ETC champion. He's currently ahead. Are we going to see a move here from Alvaro Lucas? Not quite. It's still Bahosa, but for how long? We're just going through turn 8 now, heading into turn 9 and 10. And it's still Bahosa who leads in the race and in the championship.
Half a lap remaining here in the European Talent Cup season. Carlos Cano is just dropped to 5th position, but Bahosa still needs the victory. Bahosa leads coming into the final sector. Turn 12, nothing going for Alvaro Lucas. What about turn 13? It's all going to come down to 14, isn't it? Turn 14, the championship could be decided at the final corner of the final race in 2025. Longarella shoots up the inside. Longarella's made the move. Longarella looks like he might have the win, but Bahosa's got drive to the line. Alvaro Lucas is pulled up beside him, and it's not going to be for Fernando Bahosa. He is third position, and that means Carlos Cano is your European Talent Cup champion in 2025. Drama to the line.